Hello,
Hey everybody, and welcome back to our channel. And again, for those who don't remember, I'm Roddy.
I'm Landy.
And in our channel, we speak about all things about life living in Mexico as a family and all the goods and bad and ins and out of living in Mexico. Right? And
Yeah.
today, we're talking about one of the most important topics of all of Mexico in the expat community. Very important. Are you an expat or an immigrant?
What a popular question. That's a top search these days.
Yeah,
maybe.
it's everywhere you go. It's even like on some of our past videos. I know probably one of the ones where we got the most comments about it was with our podcast with Don.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God! Again, so many people comment.
Yeah.
You are an immigrant. You are an expat.
I'm already got tired of answering or replying, whatever.
Or just even reading the question.
Yeah.
Right? You know.
Too many.
Yeah. It's overwhelming, like, and you see it in a lot of the forums online as well. Facebook groups. Doesn't matter which Facebook group you go to. There's always going to be one or two questions a month about that, or somebody complaining about, is it immigrant or is it expat, or what's the difference between this?
And who are the people really judge it?
Yeah, again, I think
most people.
This might go back to our last video again. Yeah. People who think that they speak for everybody and that they know everything about Mexico and life in Mexico, and their opinion is the fact about what you should call yourself. I think it's those people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I will just start thinking.
Yeah. But again, my opinion is that who cares?
Yeah, right? It's just the name.
Right, it's just the name. People attach too much meaning to a word. Again, people always talk about like, oh, if people go to America, they're immigrants, right? But if Americans or Canadians go abroad, they call themselves expat. And again, and you can go look at the definitions, and which we've done before in the past. And it's a very slight difference in the meaning, right? And I got a lot of the times when it comes to the word expat, it's like people who move to a country, for work, for an extended period of time, most of the time. There's always that little word that kind of it's like usually.
Yeah.
Right? Again, for people who aren't familiar with the English language, usually doesn't mean always.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's where people get hung up. They see usually a foreigner who moves to another country to do work. Again, usually is not always, or almost always. Again, almost always is not always. Again, and people get hung up on that little thing.
Mm-hmm.
They forget the usually or the almost, and if they read it as always.
Yeah, and I do think I read some probably from Mexico. Some Mexicans moved to U.S. and they say, why people in the U.S. don't call us expats? We always been called immigrants. Well, and I answered, I said, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Call yourself an expat.
You work in the big company, you do business there, right?
Call yourself an expat.
You can call yourself expats. Who gonna say, hey, you're wrong. You should not title yourself expats.
Yeah. And again, I don't have the sign in front of me. But again, there was like some professor, it was either Harvard or Stanford, like one of those major universities, talking about that word expat. And I said, yeah, I mean, technically, if we'll just use Mexico because we're in Mexico. Right. A Mexican, person goes to the United States and they become a house cleaner or a maid. Again, technically, by the definition, that is an expat. They go to another country to work. So
yes.
Again, maybe, and I know people always kind of put the idea like, oh, it's just so Americans they make themselves feel better by calling it. They don't want to lump themselves into immigrant. But again, whatever you want to call yourself is more important.
Yeah.
What other people call you, who cares?
Yeah, then you're immigrant, your whole family there, have a family living there, right? Become residents or change your passport. Yeah, you're also a part of immigrants.
Right. And again,
it's nothing wrong to call immigrant.
Right. You want to call me an immigrant? Call me an immigrant. We moved to the United States to here. We lived here, bought a house. Now we have residency. You want to call me an immigrant?
Yeah.
Okay, call me an immigrant.
If we just come here to work, do some business, short-termly, expat is expat.
Right. Or if I want to call myself an expat, I want to call myself an immigrant. Doesn't matter. To me, I think we talked about this the other day. To me, expat just comes out easier, right?
It's short.
It's shorter. It's more precise. Put expat instead of immigrant. I know it's only one syllable. Don't be so lazy to be so offended. What? Shut up.
Yeah, and the other day we were making a joke. Oh, right. In China, we call this noodle. Oh, in Italy, they call pasta. And I always call that's an Italian noodle. Oh, you should call it pasta. I don't remember all the types of noodle. I call everything noodle.
Yeah.
And then we also joked about the fusion food.
Fusion food, yeah.
What's the fusion food?
Right.
So what's a fusion? It's like a mixed up cuisine.
Right. It doesn't matter whatever you call it, right? You know.
It's just a fancy name, but it's a mixed food.
Right.
That's no really
noodle,
cuisine.
Right? What is it?
What?
Quesadilla or gringa.
Oh my gosh, quesadilla,
Is it quesadilla or gringa?
If you are familiar with
Mexican tacos and stuff, tell me, quesadilla or gringa? What's the difference?
Yeah, we order from menu. It's gringa, and we got a check. It said quesadilla.
Yeah. From the Mexican owners or from the Mexican wait staff and people. So again, don't think, oh, it's because you're American, you don't know the difference. No, again, on the menu it said quesadilla or gringa. When they brought the check, it said quesadilla. So what's the difference?
Yeah, we even in Puerto Vallarta we ordered the gringa and the caballo, you know. The waiter man brought us the food. He said,
here's your quesadilla.
The quesadilla. I said, what? We didn't order quesadilla. Oh, it's the same.
So
again,
whatever you call it doesn't matter, right? As long as you're happy, right? Somebody brings me a quesadilla, somebody brings me a gringa. Guess what? I'm happy either way. You call it this, you call it that. It doesn't matter, right? Call me an immigrant. I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. I don't care. Call me an expat. I don't care. Doesn't matter, right? You know, and I think one of the things we want to kind of prove our point about this topic. There was a topic on the Querétaro expat group very recently. This was 1 day ago.
Yeah,
1 day ago.
And we just opened and found this post.
I think we probably both saw it at different times yesterday, and it had just barely come out. So it doesn't say exactly when. This is 1 day ago.
1 day ago, right? Yeah.
And this is the question, and I'm sure this person, if you want to comment, if this person happens to watch the channel, they probably don't. But anyway, it says, why don't we call this group Querétaro immigrants? So
and 278 comments already.
278 comments.
Many people got involved. Everyone has their opinion.
Can we go by the order? Most recent? All
maybe.
Comments? Those most recent.
Wait, just all comments.
Okay, all comments.
Top, whatever.
Let's go top comments. Just to kind of see whatever. I like to go in order to kind of see how the order goes, but anyway.
Yeah, we're just going to share some.
And we're not going to go through 278 comments. We're just going to kind of do a little lucky draw and see how people respond to this type of question, because it is kind of ridiculous. So again, the name of the group is Querétaro Expats. The question is, why don't we call this group Querétaro Immigrants? Right? So let's just do a little. All right. All right, this is the first one from a gentleman. We're not going to use names, just whatever. It says, we cannot fall into what the U.S. has done. We are much better and should not follow into racism and brainwashing tactics to divide our people like our northern neighbor. Look at how they carry themselves. Do you want Mexico to end up like them? So don't act like them and share love and welcome all people and nations, all religions and beliefs. The one who make fools of others will only make fools of themselves.
I think maybe he's towards to what other people talk about.
Actually, I think he's more towards like the who cares.
Yeah, the who cares.
So again, that is like I thought it was kind of going one direction. We talked about the brainwashing, this and that, but again, I think maybe he's talking about the brainwashing in the sense of who cares, right? Don't start nitpicking and getting angry at people and disagreeing with people just because of the word choice they use. I think that's kind of where he's going with that, right? Because again, he talks about yes, because, and I kind of agree with his point. He doesn't want Mexico to end up like the U.S. And how is the U.S. portrayed right now? What's going on in the U.S.? Everybody is bitching about everything in the United States. Right? Are you left wing? Are you right wing? Are you woke? Are you not? Can you teach CTM, the critical race theory, or CRM in school? Blah 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 blah. And everyone just complains, and it just divides everybody. So I think that's the point he's trying to make, right? Again, don't fall into that. And so for that, I actually totally agree with.
Yeah.
Right. Again, let people be. Call yourself what you want. It's all love. I think that's really, so actually I kind of agree with what he says, right?
Okay.
And so let's go to the next one. Oh, here we go. Here's one to try. I think they get into the definition, right? This is from a lady. It says, because there is actually a distinct difference between the words expat and immigrants. Also, some expats can become immigrants, and some immigrants can become expats. If it also has nothing to do with the color of one's skin. Yep. I usually find those who post this question, which happens in almost all expat groups on occasion, are usually just trying to have a feeling of moral superiority and show everyone how woke they are. Perhaps picking up a dictionary first would be a better call of course, but teach his own. So again, here's another person I think are on the same track. They're like, who cares? There is actually a little bit of a difference between the two words, right? And I think people tend to kind of bring out that point again when they try to bring out an argument about skin color. People, oh, it's because Americans are white. We're not that white. Not all. Again, are you being racist if you call Americans white? Because not all Americans are white.
Oh no,
right?
definitely.
So the people they want to attribute it to this skin color tone, right? Which again is BS. Again, it's just maybe it's just kind of the history of the country. People come to the U.S. Like I think I saw another post in there somewhere. Like for whatever reason, I'm not going to get into the history of it because I don't know. But all people who have come to the United States since the beginning have been called immigrants. Irish immigrants, Italian immigrants, Mexican immigrants. If you come Russian, it doesn't matter. If you come from another country, people just in the United States just tend to call them immigrants. And maybe that's because I think expat tends to be kind of a newer word, right? I mean, so you go back to the history of the United States. The United States is a country of immigrants. And that's not a bad thing, right? I mean, that's kind of what made. I guess some people might argue what still makes the United States such a great place is that you have so many different cultures, and they all immigrated to the United States to come and live here and shoot for the American dream, and that's the way it should have been, right? But again, to atone it to a person's skin color, I think that's, and again, not that this person did it. I think they're arguing about people who have made that comment, right? Yeah. Again, people who use the argument, it's because of a person's skin color. It doesn't, right? Because again, guess what? In the United States, there were Irish immigrants, there were Russian immigrants, and guess what? Their skin is probably the whitest of whites, for the most part. So I think that's a good point by this person. Let's see. Maybe that's too long.
Just pick some.
Sure.
Read a short one.
Okay. It says, G, while we're questioning things, where is the Querétaro guest of this country group? Again, a little bit of a sarcastic answer. Someone woke up catty today. Yeah. Someone woke up catty today. They think expat is a different thing. Just don't try to reason. And again, I think that's the person who tends to think that there's a superiority to people called expat. Again, silly. Who cares?
Another person. Who cares?
Yeah. No, that's not right. Because they misspelled immigrants. That's what. So someone put because immigrants isn't the word.
Yeah.
Do you actually have to ask that? Why do we call America America? I guess they're just trying to make the silly point that America. Why do you call America America? It's not. There's all of it is America. Yeah, it's kind of a silly point.
Yeah.
Here we go again. Very sensitive.
Yeah.
Reasonable. And then someone responded, "That's a reasonable question. The sensitive one seems to be the other people finding the insult where there is none." Yeah. Let's see. Immigrant is when you actually are seeking permanent residence than citizenship. Most expats are just eccentric, short or medium staying, passing people that may not necessarily become immigrants. Now I have a dual national. Now as a dual national can immigrate to and fro on both countries, being migrant but not an immigrant nor expat.
Yeah, I kind of agree with her point. In my mind, at the beginning, I always feel expats are not the one who have residence card. They're mostly for work reason, work visa.
Sure.
Like in China, we have so many foreign expats groups, right, on the website to help expats living in Shanghai, in China.
The
expats, because they work there, they're not really a green card holder in China.
Right.
So we don't call them immigrants.
Right.
They are expats. They're working there. No
Right.
matter from teacher or self-business owner or hired by a big company.
Right. And again, I think some people may argue the point as well. Like some people who go to Mexico to work, they may not go with the idea of staying long term. They might go for 10, 15, 20 years, right? But then they might want to make money and send the money back, but then come back to Mexico. As we met a few people like that, right, who actually come back to Mexico. But so they might say, well, you call those people immigrants? Well, again, call yourself an expat if you want. Who cares, right? And again, that's a true point. Like in Asia, back when I was in Shanghai, right, there was a big group, there's a huge group, the Shanghai expats.
Right. We have a website called that, and a magazine called that.
Yeah,
never had one
conversation.
Never be one Chinese bitch about it.
Yeah. Why you call yourself expat? Why are you immigrant?
Yeah, we're in the U.S., we got immigrant. You're here. Nobody.
Yeah.
People are cool with it.
Right. Maybe it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
Actually, now that you brought that up, again, because like I said,
I never heard about those complaints.
In Shanghai, or in China, people never complained about that, because again, are there Chinese people who go to the United States? Yeah. And guess what? When those Chinese people go to the United States, again, for the most part, people just call them immigrants. I think it's just part of I think I'm using the word right. The etymology of maybe not. The history of the United States. That's just what we have called people who have come to our country.
I moved to the U.S. People call me immigrant. I go to immigrants' office to have my fingerprint.
Yeah,
I'm immigrant.
Right. That's just kind of the history of the United States.
I don't feel something insulted. The people look down on me or racism.
Yeah.
No.
How dare you? I had my own companies in China, and I was my own business in China. How dare you call me an immigrant, right? Again, that's just so I think it's overly kind of sensitive. Let's do a random.
I gotta do that. Okay.
Well, I see again today the race baiting is still alive and well all over the West, proving once again that ignorance and lack of class knows no color. Yeah. Losers be losers, as shown by, we won't say his name.
Let's see.
17 more comments. You want to read one?
It doesn't come out.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, respectfully, how do you consider yourself born and bred Mexican citizen, immigrant, expat?
And they didn't answer. Well, that person put a lot of comments.
Yeah. And this lady said, "You mean expats?"
Yeah. Immigration is the lifeblood of countries where it's too expensive to have babies. I don't know what that means. Immigration is the lifeblood of countries where it's too expensive to have babies. Oh, okay. Yeah. I guess United States, it's expensive to have kids, so we depend on immigrants to kind of help fill our population up. I guess that's what they're trying to say.
Okay. Look at this person says.
Which one? Oh, all immigrants?
Uh-huh.
All immigrants are expat. But that's what we read already, right? No, it's similar. All immigrants are expats, but not all expats are immigrants. Patrick Stewart, for example, is an example to the United States, and now Patrick Stewart, for example, is an immigrant to the United States and now a citizen. But we will also always be a British expat in the USA. So the term expat is appropriate for this group. Right? All semantics. Why are you trying to make a name for yourself? Well, so far it seems to be that the random. Again, this is just all random.
Yeah, random.
People, I think, also are getting sick of this question.
Right? Exactly.
That's what it kind of seems like, which I'm kind of glad to see. That but you don't see so many people defending this person. So many, right? Let's see, because I think, can we please return to the discussion? Yeah. Oh, I remember this person, this lady. Oh, there we go. Again, and you have to forgive this person. I'm assuming that English is not her first language, but I think her point is, if Latinos go to the U.S., it's immigrants. If they come here, it's expats. But you don't dare to call immigrants expats in their country. So you see, everyone gets offended. So again, I think she's trying to be smart ass. I think
you don't dare to call immigrants expats in their country.
Don't call immigrants expats in their country. You don't dare call immigrants expats in their country. I don't know what she's trying to say.
Yeah,
I
get confused.
Immigrants come. Let's see.
Oh, there's another person said, because white people.
Because white people. Again, again, that's the easy answer. When you don't have a good answer, just put a stupid answer like that. Because white people are the problem. Yeah. And then the original poster put correcto, correct.
Yeah.
That's the reason why. Because
that's the reason why, because of the skin.
White people.
So expat is equal to white people now.
Yeah, and again, and here's a response to that question. And again, I'm sure it's more satirical than anything. This person put, and we're going to keep coming and gentrifying your country to our liking. You know why? Because we want to and we can. We have money and y'all are broke as fuck. You should remove yourself from your own country so there is more room for us.
Oh.
That is a satirical answer I've ever heard one. But again, I guarantee you, people again who have no sense of humor took it very personally. I'm assuming. Again, I don't really think that this person truly feels that way. It's just, again, I think they're being tired of answering that question, so they're just being as sarcastic as possible. Let me give the most sarcastic answer possible.
It's funny, not just we got tired of this question. There's so many people feel the same way.
Yeah.
Even we have a channel. They don't even have a channel, but people are so tired of this question.
Yeah.
Where they saw that? Everywhere on internet.
Yeah. And then somebody, and again, I'm assuming this is the national, says, you're also broke as fuck. That's why you can't stay in your country and you have to come here just to try to be someone here. Do you like our country better than yours? Is that why you prefer being here? And also because here is where you can afford a decent life because in your country you can't. Not necessarily not true, but again, I think that person took it a little bit too personally. Again, I don't think they saw the sense of the.
Oh, he didn't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, in his not getting the joke, he actually did make some good points. Right.
Right.
I know for a lot of people, they do come to Mexico because they can't afford a better life. That part is true. I'm not disagreeing with them.
Right.
But again, I still think they're missing the point that it was a joke by the first person.
Yeah, some people do. They have a less retirement income.
Yeah.
They live here for better living. Sure, why not?
And then someone else responded right after that. Is this a serious response? I think they're questioning about the seriousness. Again, I think it almost went over the head, but they want to believe that this is a joke. And again, I'm 99.9% sure that this is a joke. Right? I'm still sticking with that. Is that a serious response and a reflection of who you are and how you think? You and I wouldn't get along too well. Entitled a bit? And again, I think they missed the joke. You are broke too, my dear, because with your Social Security or however you get your money, it's not enough to live in the U.S. But be aware that the Mexican peso is getting better, and it will be more expensive for you to live in Mexico. Then please be respectful with the people that open the doors for you in order to live in Mexico. And again, it's kind of like the first response. I think they have well intentions. But again, I think they're just missing the joke here.
Yeah, they missed the joke because they feel kind of insulting, and then they try to bitch about it because you couldn't afford to live in the U.S. Now you're here, our country. Now she speak for Mexico now.
Right.
We embrace you, so chill. I think that's getting more.
Here's another response. Again, you can't afford. And again, that's really all these questions kind of do, right?
Yeah, they try to arouse some fights. I think between the American or Canadians or Europeans live in Mexico or Querétaro, and with the local, because this group has 14K followers, members right now. Yeah, I checked. Yeah, it's kind of big. It's pretty big, right? Compared to other expat group in Mexico, this is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
And now, but how many are real expats there? Right. I can feel maybe like easily 20-30% are Mexicans.
Probably somewhere in that range, right?
But that's how they feel. You can just tell by the name.
Well, some. If you look at my name.
Right. But you tell by the spelling. I mean.
Sure. And again, I think that goes back to the very first response that we read about that guy, which is a very good point. Don't make Mexico like the U.S. I mean, again, there's so many great things about Mexico.
True.
And again, and again, I hate to say things like that. What was so great about the United States, and what it's becoming. Again, at least what's portrayed on the news, right? What's portrayed in the media, which is, everything is so decisive. You either believe on this side or you believe this side. There's only two sides.
Or in the middle.
There's no middle.
Oh, now no middle.
It's either this side or this side. I think at least that's how it's portrayed.
Right.
That's how they want to portray the United States. Right. You're either right wing, left wing, pro. Again, There's no middle. Everybody's either one or the other, which is not necessarily true. Again, that's just how media portrays it. But again, you do see it kind of spilling into everyday life, right? And so you definitely don't want that kind of influence coming into Mexico because again, there's so much wonderful stuff about Mexico. And again, the people, the culture, everything that everyone has said 1,000 times about Mexico that makes it so great, right? So don't put stupid questions like that to try to drum up, resentment between two groups. What's the point?
Yeah.
Are you like some people said? Are you just trying to make yourself feel better? Are you trying to make yourself feel like you're the woke authority for everyone? Like you are an immigrant. Stop calling yourself an expat.
I just feel very tired of all those political correctness back in the U.S. and now seeing those groups and people are just bring those culture here or locally people feel some way.
Right.
Like just.
Right. Again, you ask the average Mexican and they're probably going to give you the same response I'm going to give you right now. Who cares?
Yeah. I don't know. We should do a survey. Really, who cares? Are they really sensitive with this topic?
I don't know. My guess would probably be they wouldn't care. They'd probably be like, "What's an expat?"
Yeah, and we can make put a poll.
Oh no! If we put a poll online, we'll probably get 1,000 stupid responses like this.
Yeah, the poll like, what do you think you are?
Yeah, right? What do you call yourself?
Like immigrant, expats, or I don't care.
Yeah, there you go. So everybody out there who may be watching this video, what are you? Expat, immigrant, or who gives a shit?
Yeah, right. It's an interesting topic. Hopefully today this podcast brought you some laughter.
And hopefully this will once and for all end the discussion. The discussion about immigrant and expat is now over for the rest of history.
Yeah, hopefully, but I don't think so. We will get more question about it.
right. Thanks for watching. Again, if you have any questions or comments, again, let us know. Again, expat, immigrant, who cares, right? Leave your comment below. Thanks for watching.
Bye. It's pretty fun by reading.